Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is April 4th, and today's episode is going to cover rETH in DeFi. We are going to talk about some updates about the fee sentiment, bridge fee stuff, the sentiment poll. We're going to talk about the next vote that's coming up. After that, we're going to talk about Ethereum and how it's doing with this market conditions. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
So today's episode is going to start here on Twitter, and this is a tweet from stakerocketpool.eth. This is from Regex Buster, and here we see the DeFi update that they do bi-weekly, and it says PancakeSwap is still rocking the highest APR of around 16.5%. OKX and Uniswap have the special boosted pools, where one of the two is up to 116% APR. You can check out RPL DeFi for more info. Always make sure to do your own research. So then there's some screenshots here. This is the rETH ETH pool that the IMC incentivizes, and this is the stablecoin rETH pool that has just incredible yield right now. So yeah, really interesting. Let's have a look at the other pool. Let's find out what's going on elsewhere. So with that Uniswap OKX pool, there's the ETH rETH pool as well, and that's 6.9% APR. So that's a little bit less. However, you have some other options on L2s. If we have a look, there's the rETH Anchor ETH pool that's doing 6.33% APR. And then the others look okay, 4.29 in Beethoven. The others look a little bit like whatever. If you're on Mint, however, there's some decent options. The main one, of course, is that PancakeSwap option, and that's coming in at 16.5%. And then there's the Balancer rETH Wrapped ETH, that's from Etherify, and that is seeing 5.67% APR as well. So there's some good yields out there. If you're holding rETH, the previous 30-day average is 2.865%, which is okay, not bad. And then if you've been holding since the merge, your average is 3.479%. So a little bit higher there. That's kind of trending down over time. So if you are interested in using rETH in DeFi, this is the place to come. You can go to rpldefi.com to see the information in a slightly less pretty way. And yeah, I think one thing that we need to keep an eye out on is other places to get this information, and trying to stay up to date with incentives that are happening elsewhere. But yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so we have been talking about bridging fees and moving rETH to Ronin. Not moving, sorry, sending some rETH over to Ronin. About $3 million worth. The Ronin wanted to buy that, and how we're going to set up the bridge. I've been talking about this on Rocket Fuel a lot recently because this is an active discussion that's been ongoing. So here, Spartan made a new threat, Rocket Pool Bridge campaign vote, and the decision is, who's going to have the contract ownership? Is there going to be a fee? Will there be limited functionality? And what variation of that is there going to be? So they're saying that the three options are: one, contract ownership with fee; limited functionality for the contract with the fee; and no fee and no contract control. So it says these options offer varying degrees of control and revenue potential and alignment with Ronin's DeFi ecosystem. And it says, I look forward to the DAO's discussion and decision on this. So this is obviously a discussion that's already been ongoing. So let's have a look. I'm going to say limited functionality with fee, and it seems like the vote is really split here. So here we have Dr. Doofus, Shifrin, and Ishka saying contract ownership with fee. Ramana, and then I don't know who that person is, and myself saying limited functionality with fee. And then we have Blue AVM and Patches saying no fee and no contract control. Now here, Dr. Doofus kind of mirrors my perspective as well. He says, I'll be voting for either number one or number two. I'm waiting to hear from the team if they will consider owning the contract. If not, I might be in favor of burning it and relying on the goodwill of Chainlink. He said, being iffy on the fee, but I have come around, especially as sort of a trial on Ronin. It's worth normalizing bringing in other sources of income. The treasury is in dire shape. Even if this is just a few ETH, it's worth trying. And then Raman says, can you explain number 2 a little bit more? What does it mean to restrict the mint and burn functions? Also, would it help to understand what Rocket Pool refers to in your message, i.e. who are we talking about owning the contract potentially? And then Spartan replied to those messages that you can go and have a look at and get that information there. So yeah, that's an interesting discussion that is ongoing. If you want to take part in the discussion on the forum, you are welcome to do that, of course. However, if you are want to convey your opinions and perspectives to Spartan directly, you're welcome to do that as well. So here he says, if anyone has any questions about the proposal on the forum, feel free to ask on the forum, in this channel, DMing me, or if you'd like, you can also post them in the Alpha Growth Deal Flow thread. He says, I'm always happy to get on a community call or Google Meets call with any DAO member that has concerns or would like to address them to me and or ask questions. He says here's his Calendly link that he's made available as well, and here's linked to the governance forum thread. So there's a link there as well. So if you do want to talk to Spartan and get some ideas, then reach out to him. Basically, he's making himself available for that. Okay, an interesting tidbit happened, which is that RPIP 69 has now reached finalized state on the RPIP writing for that. The next step now is for this to go to vote, which is really exciting. So RPIP 69 is increasing the GMC share of inflation. It will take me to the RPIP site. So here the abstract is this RPIP increases the share of inflation to the GMC from 20.5% to 25%. The share to the reserve treasury is reduced from 29.5% to 25% to fund this. Specification, GMC share of PDAO inflation shall be adjusted to 25%. Reserve treasury share of PDAO inflation shall be adjusted to 25%. And then there's a rationale of why this should happen. And some treasury considerations about some of the discussion that went on, and then that information is there. So this the author of this is actually Schifrin, which is really cool. That's really cool. So yeah, let's I guess this will be coming to vote soon. Okay, the deposit pool got a little bit of action today, and this was a 140 ETH deposit. Now that on its own is not really newsworthy, but the thing that's really interesting is that this was minted by Balancer. So Balancer is a protocol that the IMC uses a lot in terms of using our incentives there and trying to get everything, so get liquidity for rETH. And their treasury actually went and minted some rETH. So this is actually really great that their treasury is out there who of their own volition. As far as I know, this was not part of the Star protocol, Star program, Star whatever it is. And this is not part of Star. This was just them doing it of their own volition. It's really cool that there's protocols out there that understand that Rocket Pool is the best LST, and then they just go and mint it. Like this is a considerable amount of money that they minted, like nearly $300,000 or thereabouts, I think. So it's really cool that they went and did this. So yeah, good guys, Balancer. Okay, I'm going to end this episode with this tweet from Binji, and this is about sentiment around Ethereum. And I'll just use Binji's words. He says, one thing I've always admired about Ethereum is that the entire world could be on fire, but you can still log onto the dev discords and people are acting normally and asking questions about how we can optimize call data compression in recursive snark circuits. So it's not necessarily the content here. The idea is that people in Ethereum, like, they just build, whatever the price might be. Their main goal is to make Ethereum the best possible blockchain in the world, and I think that they are doing that. What's really funny here is that Tim Biko shared a screenshot from Discord searching for call data, and they found 396 results. And here is a post from yesterday saying, I'd say EVM error is something different than internal error, which could only be reproducible on a single client, and in the EVM error, but would be reproducible everywhere. But I guess this is fine. So yeah, there's discussions going on. Trent says, the industry has been on fire, real and imagined since its start. Pushing forward regardless is the only way through. Laura Shin, host of the Unchained podcast, says, I have the same thought scrolling my timeline earlier today. And other people, DeFi Beats says, I've never seen so much faith in the ecosystem. Again, I'm convinced Ethereum will win. So I thought that was a nice little, that was some nice sentiment to kind of end the week. It has been a really, really bad week. Yeah, it's been a really bad week for crypto prices. It's been a really bad week in TradFi. In just global uncertainty, just has gone through the roof this week, and that is not fun for anyone ever. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you all have a good weekend. I hope you can all get away from your screens and prices, and hopefully, spend time with people who you love and do things that you love. And if you are feeling not good, then pop by the Rocket Pool Discord and people will talk to you and listen to your concerns. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you all have lovely weekends ahead, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.